Welcome back to the DS Chronicles, a Demon Slayer podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chaz.
And I'm Ronny.
And today we're covering Demon Slayer, Season 1, Episode 2, Trainer Sukonji Urokodaki.
That's right. That's how I've also remembered the name was said in the...
Urokodaki.
Urokodaki?
Yes.
I mean... How many syllables are we dealing with there? That's just... It's silly. It's downright silly. You know I'm not a fan of it.
You said over one, right?
Five? And who's got the time?
Your rule is like over one, right?
Who is the time? No, it's a 2-syllable rule.
Oh.
You get 2. If you get 3, I can still be maybe friends with you. You start messing with 4, listen, we're gonna have to have a sit down and talk about it.
Well, like
Five?
3 maybe? Like, what about Sanjaya?
5, you're just playing with yourself. You like say Sanjaya?
Yeah, if you were friends with somebody named Sanjaya. How's that one?
Well, I would call him just Jaya.
Okay.
Because, why? Sanjaya? I don't know any Sanjayas. Do you know a Sanjaya?
Well, and when you're in Georgia.
Also, we've got to just be the DS Chronicles. We are a Nintendo DS companion pod. Yeah. Apparently, some sneaky guys, got the Demon Slayer Chronicles before us.
Yeah, and they totally saw what we did with everything else.
They realized that we were creating a monopoly on anime-based chronicles, and they were like,
yeah,
well, they haven't gotten to this one yet. Let's steal it before they can get there.
And I went and listened to every single episode of theirs. Not as good as ours.
Well, and then I also looked, and I didn't see full coverage of Season 2, so they better watch out.
Yep.
All right, they better watch out, because we're coming.
We're coming. The boys are coming.
Ronny and Chaz are knocking.
So yeah, Season 1, Episode 2. What did you think about this episode?
I liked it. I was waiting for us to meet this trainer, and we met him, and I've got some things to say, but I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Yeah, don't get ahead of yourself.
I would hate to do it.
I'm the same way. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Okay. It was a
Still
nice...
just building up, you know? It's a marathon here. All
right, so let's get right into it. We start off with what feels like an AOT episode. You know why? And
why?
Do you know why?
Why? Just
because there's a bird flying across the screen.
Yes, I see what you're going for. Yep.
I would say approximately 65% of AOT episodes start with that.
Your bird gang, you're on bird watch.
Yep. And our boy Tanjiro.
Wrong.
That's how we say it down in the South, but if we want to say it properly, it's Tanjiro. We can call him Tanji.
No, we can call him Tanji.
Tanji or Tanji, whatever one you feel like.
Well, Tanji.
Country boy, that's what you say. Okay? I'm a country boy, fellas and ladies, so if something slips up like that, don't get mad at me. I've always just been known as that country guy.
He's doing it on purpose.
And so yeah, Tanji, he insists on paying for a basket with holes in it.
Right.
Even though they tell him multiple times, just take it. It's free.
This is a classic, see, the thing is, the rookie move by the bamboo farmer is what I'm going to call this guy. I don't know if he actually farms the bamboo, but he's got it in droves. He's plentiful in the bamboo department. You say no a number of times that correlates with how much you like the person. When someone offers you money, there's a rule, okay? Number 1, you say no once to a cohort. They say, let me get you on that. You say, no. And they say no, and you're all right. Yes. Let me take it.
Especially a 15-year-old. Well, we assume he's like 15, 16, somewhere around there. He's being nice to a younger gent.
Yeah.
And at some point, Tanji is obviously a nice guy, but at some point you got to be like, dude, shut up. Like, I would be, this is what I would be. I would say, you know what? You're not even getting it for free.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take it back.
And then 2, you'd go 2 for a friend. Like, if we're at dinner and you're like, oh, Ronny, you did eat half the menu, but let me get that appetizer. I'll say, no, dude. And you're like, please, let me get this appetizer. I'm like, Chaz, no, it's fine. He said, dude. And I go, okay, you can buy the appetizer. I was like,
that happens a lot.
There was a 7-to-1 Ronny ratio of the fried mozzarella sticks. You did have one, so yes, you should chip in for that.
Those Tunions? Oh, my goodness.
Did you just say Tunions?
Yeah.
What is a Tunion?
Oh, lordy. My boy Ronny doesn't know what a Tunion is. You know what a Tunion is. You can call it a Funyun because it's fun to eat, but a lot of people call it by its name. It's a Tunion. It is a essentially a fried onion. No, that's where the onion comes in. It's a fried onion type deal, and you dip it in this sauce, and boy, oh boy, is it good.
Where are they called Tunions?
Outback Steakhouse. So
Outback Steakhouse has, of course, the bloomin' onion. Don't
But,
act
no, okay,
like
I'm
I
sorry.
don't know what I'm talking about. You fool.
Longhorn. I apologize for the mishap.
Oh my god. And then Texas Roadhouse has their versions, the Cactus Blossom.
Yes.
Quit acting like I don't know my onion-based appetizers.
Well,
It's
I'm thinking more
insulting.
country.
I know my way around the kitchen. No one calls it a Tunion. Continue.
Longhorn does. So Tanji, he brings back.
Oh, and 3, you say no 3 times for an elderly family member, but it doesn't matter. They're going to sneak it on you
Yes.
somehow.
Oh, that's another thing with elderly people.
Uh-huh.
They could be. You could have just had the largest dinner. You could be off sugars. If they offer you a cookie, you take the cookie and you eat it because they're not gonna take no for an answer.
Right. Same thing with money. You say no 8 times because it's, and then still you'll be like, okay, I finally got them not to get it. And then you'll go home, you'll check your pocket, and there's just $20 in it. You're like,
Yeah.
what? How did they do that?
Yep.
You're like, all I did was
Classic.
plug in. You're like, all I did was plug in a lamp, and they gave
Yeah.
me $20.
This young generation just knows what they're doing. So yeah, he brings the basket back to the cave where we see his younger sister, Nezuko. She's dug a hole, and her cute little demon little head is just sticking out of it. What, you think she's cute right here, Ronnie?
I mean, yeah, it's just a rule. Anytime you stick your head out of a hole, you do look cute, especially if it's nose up or a bridge of nose and up.
Bridge of nose and up, yeah. No mouth.
Yeah, no mouth is key.
Yeah. And then we get the OP, and this is where I ask you, Ronnie. We finally get...
Yeah, we get the opening
Of course.
song and credits for the very first time.
Of course, you're the hater last episode. You didn't listen to it because it was at the end. How was it?
Well, there
What did
wasn't
you think?
one last episode. Like the song, I had to listen to it a couple times because you oversold it at first, but I do like
Oversold.
you oversold it. I had to sit in it for a second, replay it, and I do like the song. Something about the animation of the opening credits was underwhelming for as well as the rest of the show is animated. I don't know, that was just my first thought, but I also don't know these characters yet. So that's I'll probably have something to do with it. I'm just watching a lot of people run around that I don't know.
Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a bop. Ronnie has confirmed it's a bop.
It's not a bop, I wouldn't say.
Okay, well, it's a jingle.
It's closer to a jingle than a bop.
Okay.
But I don't know if jingle's correct either. We'll find it out. We got to listen to it a few more times. We'll figure it out.
So Tanji, he keeps talking about his little sister, and then he even says that she's a little mole. He's like, wow, my sister's turned into a mole. What is happening? And I didn't like that. I mean, she's already a demon. Don't call her a mole, too.
Yeah. It's just, if I'm going ground-based animals,
Hedgehog?
hedgehog number 1.
Yep. Groundhog number 2.
Anything
And-
that's got ground in the name,
Yep.
not a mole.
And ferret
Because
number
no one
3.
says ground mole.
What do they call those ferret little Tommy boys? Tommy something, right?
Rufus from Kim Possible, is that what you're
Yes.
talking about?
No. From The Lion King. What is that thing called?
Oh, a meerkat.
Meerkat. That's
Love
what-
a meerkat.
Yes.
Love a meerkat.
They
we
might
just
be
don't,
number 1.
We don't have, they might be, we just don't have a whole lot of them around here, so I haven't spent much time with them.
By not having a whole lot of them around here, we have actually 0.
Well, I think I
around
saw one time.
here. Yeah, somebody probably has a pet meerkat.
They're few and far between.
Yeah.
Amazon will ship you anything, dude. We could get a meerkat.
So he makes this basket for her, and this poor girl, this basket is made for I would say a 3-year-old toddler. I mean, what is he thinking here?
Well, then I thought that they were really going to act like she was just going to fit into this basket. And
then he goes, oh, wow, my sister is really grown. Like he hasn't lived with her his entire life in this cabin.
not only that, the way he's talking to her, if I ever become a demon and you start talking to me like I'm a puppy, I will give you a handful of fists.
But does she not look cute like a puppy right here?
No, don't talk to her like she's a puppy. She has a mouth guard thing on.
Yeah,
which is,
she's a puppy.
Okay, kinky. She's your sister. Be careful.
Muzzled. He's muzzled up his sister, bro.
Muzzled up his sister. And you could do this more effectively without it being so sketch.
Yeah, because there's a lot of women, I'm sure, that would that talk way too much. That they probably need a muzzle. She doesn't really seem like she needs one.
Moving on.
But yeah, like you said, he treats her like a puppy. He pats her and tells her to get smaller.
Yeah.
He's like, you know how you got big like a big adult earlier, even though you're not small and you're kind of an adult? Well, get smaller for me, okay?
Yeah. Never had a woman tell me that.
And she does. She literally gets very small and is so damn cute, Ronnie.
How small is she?
I would say she's the size
They didn't do a good job of showing me.
I would say the size of a small zebra calf.
Okay. I know exactly what you're talking. Yeah, I see the size.
Yeah.
A lot of legs.
A lot of legs. Around that size. Probably a 7-month-old calf. Yeah, I put right here too. Ronnie, you're going to love Nezuko. You love cute little girls.
Whoa, oh my god. Okay. Everyone calm the fuck down.
That sounded wrong. I meant you
mean I am a fatherly figure who can't wait to have children of my own, and I will take her under my wing.
And they're always little demons, okay? You like those little feisty
Well, she's
demon
about that
girls.
age. You know, those girls get to an age, they become little demons. You know, they don't want to spend
right.
time with daddy anymore.
I had a sister.
And I don't want to say daddy, I want to say dad, because that's a whole other thing.
Father.
She's, by God, she's gagged. I am a father figure.
Well, you're not a father, no. Hell no. I hope to God you're
I
not.
will be one day, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
No, he's not. So yeah, Tanjiro, he heads out on his journey, and he's heading to Mount Saguri, I believe it's pronounced, where he runs into a couple
He's in a hurry to Mount Saguri.
Oh, that was good. Why did I not write that?
I don't know. You rush up to the notes.
All right, you've beat me on that one. That's one punny to 0 right now. He runs into a couple kind villagers who tell him to watch out at night, that a bunch of people have gone missing. I love a good adventure, okay?
Yeah, me too.
Especially when it's between a demon and a human sibling.
Here's the thing about this show, though. I mean, like I said last about Aubrey Drake Graham, 0 to 100 word I can't say real quick. We don't even really get to go on an adventure. Like, he's right here, already up at the top of the mountain. I didn't get to see the adventure.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he just walked.
Yeah.
I like an adventure where we see, like, you know, maybe...
a road trip, a proper road trip.
Chases a butterfly.
Banter. How about a little banter?
Yeah. Nezuko gets loose.
Uh-huh.
Something like that. So yeah, Tanji then, it's nightfall, okay? Gets to the top of this thing, it's nightfall.
We know what that means.
Yes.
We learned about that last week. Careful now.
It's
Demons
hard
come
to
out
see.
at night.
Oh yeah, demons come out.
And it's hard to see.
He starts smelling, okay? He pulls out that good old sniffer.
Because if his sniffer's that good, his eyesight is definitely taking hits.
It is, yeah.
His eyesight's weakened. You can't have it both ways. You just can't.
What about his ear sight?
Ear sight struggling. You could. How many times does he get sneaked up on?
He does. And you would think he would sniff them out. But, okay, I have a theory that some of these people might have some old-fashioned deodorant. I don't know what they used back in the day, because there's no like Axe spray or anything like that, like me and you use. But they got something to
It was
cover
just
it up.
scentless defense.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, he smells that good old-fashioned blood. Okay, so he runs to a cabin. He thinks somebody's hurt, that they just got injured. Boy, oh boy, are these people hurt. Okay, he opens this door to see a few people absolutely devoured.
Shredded.
Yeah, they're not just hurt. They're all dead. They're all dead.
Well, let's get a pulse on them. Let's see. I'm not ready to declare him dead.
And Nezuko hops out, and she starts sniffing this human blood, and you can tell she wants a little taste.
My mouth is watered like that. It has.
It has.
You know what? If I had to describe this feeling that she's going through right now, you ever have someone give you like a couple pieces of chocolate so you can't have like your fill as you wish?
Yeah, like what do you mean, like chocolate bars or just like a little
just
piece?
like a little piece of chocolate or something like that, and you're like, oh, I only have 2 pieces. I'm gonna make it last. I'm gonna let it like melt in my mouth for a while, and then you do that for approximately 1.5 seconds, and then you just bite it.
Yeah,
you just bite
it's
it.
too hard, man. You can't do it. I try that every time. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna let this Hershey Kiss just melt in my mouth, and then it instantly goes down my throat.
You're like, I'm gonna be with this thing for a while.
Yeah.
And
I
then
guzzle it
it's
down.
It's just gone. Second one goes down even quicker because at that point you're just like in that mode.
Yeah, and then after the second one, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go buy a bag.
Yeah.
So yeah, the demon though, he instantly says, well, I'm assuming it's a he. He instantly says, oh, wow, you're in my territory.
Yeah.
So demons got those good sniffers too.
Well, not only that, they got them vocal cords.
Yeah, they talk. And they've got a great sense of smell for other demons. Not only humans, but other demons as well.
But wait, not necessarily, right?
Well,
he didn't know that she was a demon yet.
Well, he was saying, why are you in my territory? Like, assuming that she was a demon. And then he looked over and he's like, wait a minute.
Are you a demon?
He goes, are both of you humans? Like, he was confused.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Why do you think he was confused?
Because he was like, why is a demon chilling with a human?
Yeah.
Because they were just standing next to each other. He's like, do you see what I just did to these humans? This is what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
You dumb girl.
I just think he needed to analyze the situation a little bit further. Nezuko was a little apprehended,
Yeah, a little muzzle on her.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
He's probably thinking, how does that thing stopping you, though? But anyways, he attacks Tanji instantly and zooms at him. And Tanji gets a little swipe of that hatchet. Draw some blood from this thing. You're thinking, oh, wow. Okay, good reflexes. This is going to be a fight.
Well, it's a neck slice.
Yeah. Good blood dripping out.
Right there by the jugular. That's not an area you want to mess around with.
You're like, oh, this is great. And then he just goes, oh, yeah, you got me kind of good with that hatchet, and then just heals instantly.
Which I knew. I knew that saw that one from a mile away.
So they can regenerate. They can talk. They can sniff. Mm-hmm. They've got
they can just
good mind.
Grow, they can shrink.
Yes, these things are not to be messed with.
Oh, also, by the way, there was a sewage issue at the penthouse. It smells like poop in here.
It smells absolutely terrible.
That's fine. We've got Chaz has hired the best of the best to come take a look at that. He spared no expense. We are in a penthouse after all.
Yes. I've hired my mother. Okay. Fighting starts. Okay, we got the fighting starting. Tanji mentions as he attacks him again, he's like, oh my god, this thing has super strength. So not only can they regenerate, they're very strong, Ronny.
Yeah, it's like at a certain point, it's like, okay, everything is better.
Yeah.
I get it. There we got one weakness, it's the sun.
Yep. And this guy grabs Tanji by the neck, starts choking him out when all of a sudden Nezuko realizes what's going on and just runs up and absolutely Ronaldo's this guy straight to the head.
Yep.
Kicks it flying.
Which seems a little, I don't know. What's going on there? Was he not screwed on there tight? How did she do that? It was a clean cut.
She's got that super strength too and just used all of that leg force to send that noggin.
I'm a very practical guy. I think there should have been a dent in his skull if that was the case.
She sent that noggin jogging. Okay?
Okay, all right. Touché.
1-1.
Well, let me give you the point.
I'm going to give myself the point.
It's 1-1. I would like the noggin and jogging. That was good.
So, yeah, I called her the little demon Ronaldo. Okay, the doctor. Okay, I'm not gonna take that one too far.
Well, you said it was the little demon Ronaldo, and then you meant it the DR, which would just mean demon Ronaldo. I'm taking away half a point.
Well, I said doctor as well.
1 to 0.5.
Okay. His head then grows arms, though. Okay,
he becomes Geodude.
He does. An uglier Geodude. If Geodude could get any uglier,
right?
This is it right here.
Dude, why did you just rip Geodude?
I didn't rip him. I just said he's not that cute.
But he's handsome. Are you saying he's not a top 10 handsome Pokemon?
Once he evolves.
No, that guy, what is it, Graveler? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Dude, Graveler's not. Graveler's
Okay, you got me on that one. He's not.
1-0. I took away another half a point. Geodude, top 10 handsome Pokemon.
Not a top 10. Come on.
He's a top 10 of the basic ones that I know. You know, now there's probably one in like the most recent generations that like literally just looks like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah. I could see a handsome Squidward. There's randomly a handsome Squidward that
There's
I had no idea about.
Right. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like main ones, definitely.
Because what is the hot one? There's a really hot one. It's a rock type as well.
I mean, the hottest
You know
one
what I'm
of
talking
all is Machoke.
Machoke. That's who I'm thinking of.
I was gonna say Machop, but then I would be careful. But once he
yeah.
evolves, he's free game.
And Machamp.
Yeah.
It goes Machop, Machoke, Machamp. Machamp is the one that looks like he just came out. He did that Ronnie Coleman workout. Yeah.
He's a little bit too big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can tell he definitely took something.
You want like a good.
He didn't just evolve. Like somebody injected him.
Yeah,
with something.
you want a good definition. You don't want to get too big if you're trying to be handsome. That's why Machoke is the perfect spot.
So yeah, his head grows arms. He starts crawling with his arms. I mean, so creepy. And then his decapitated body starts beating the shit out of Nezuko.
Yeah.
So this guy's on one right now. You can't even. So if you send their head flying, they still don't die. Ronnie? How do you think you can kill this thing?
Well, I think we learned. One, you wait for the here comes the sun.
Okay, and if there's no sunlight,
that's what you do. That's how you you wreck them. You lock them down, and then you just grab an acoustic guitar, and you just go, here comes the sun, and they're like, no. Or you gotta get
it's a great Beatles tune.
Yeah, or you gotta just ground pound that head.
Yeah, just keep grounding and pounding. And
you ever done that that summer game, or we did it field day? We did it at field day.
Whack-a-mole?
Nope, where you have some balloons and it's like a relay race. You got to take the balloon and then you just
smash it.
You just butt smash the hell out of it. That's what you got to do to these heads.
I love butt smashing balloons.
I used to be scared of that one because I'm like, oh, like popping it with my caboose, is that gonna hurt? Is that gonna sting?
Yeah. Yep.
So we always some people said that we didn't win those events because of my weight and how agile I was on the field, but it was actually because I was a little scared of the.
And then you accidentally slip a fart while you do it, and then some people call that the whoopee cushy tushy.
And it wasn't fair. And you're trying to earn a little point. I'll give you half of one, but don't try too hard because I'm watching you. Okay.
All right. I really liked that.
It was also before the blow up in 2014, so I was actually pretty quick out there.
All right.
It was pretty speedy.
So yeah, our boy Hanji though, he's got that strong head, and he gives him that headbutt, dude, straight to a demon. Can you believe that?
Well, yeah. Hey Tanji, not a good idea to literally headbutt a Geodude.
Yeah.
He even says that. He's like, oh, you got a really hard head. Well, of course he does. They're a demon. Everything's better. Of course their skull's going to be more dense.
And then he tangles him up with that hatchet and sends him to a tree. And this is where we see that the decapitated head, it does make him a little bit weaker because it does affect him to where he can't really get away from that. I would assume if he's not decapitated, that's probably an easy fix for a demon just to get out of that.
Right.
But yeah, as he does that, though, he runs up as Nezuko's still getting the shit beat out of her. And Tanji, it's a classic mistake, tackling somebody off a cliff.
Really, really poor move. I was very disappointed in him. All you had to do was go for a push. Like, why are you going full-on tackle?
Yeah. You know who wasn't using their head here? Tanji, not the demon.
Yeah, and he's the one that didn't have a head. He literally could not keep his head on a swivel.
He couldn't.
So you were just going to blindside him whichever way you came from.
Could have gave him that good old-fashioned, what do you call that when you jump up in the air and you double kick somebody?
Yeah.
And you fall to the ground?
Exactly.
Yes.
I don't know what you're saying because I wanted to say he's the worst linebacker in the league. You got to keep your head on a swivel.
And then we go to the calling card, and for those,
and also the way he sold out so hard for that tackle that it's early in the show. We'll see where it goes. I'm calling bullshit on Nezuko catching him because his inertia was way too rapid. for her to
Ronny,
snatch him.
she can grow and shrink in. What I think she did is she just stretched Armstrong to her arm.
Okay.
Caught him. But we go to the calling card, and for those of you that are new to this podcast, Ronnie and I love our calling cards.
Love them.
Okay? We're going to call it like it is every time.
And this is for people who don't know. We call it a calling card. We don't know why we call it that, but that's what we do. It's when you reach about the halfway point of the episode where they will insert a commercial break, but we are living in 2022 where if you're watching a commercial, well, you're just foolish. I don't understand how you're doing that. You're paying for cable for $189 a month.
That's just... If you're watching a commercial, you might be over 80.
How are the cable companies keeping up? How? Are people really still paying $189 a month for cable?
Sports. That's the only thing I can think of.
Sports are keeping them alive, and they're coming. They're coming soon. Like, it's just not, it's like the newspaper business. It's the radio business. Get out while you can if you're a cable man.
Yeah. Like you said, Nezuko grabs him. I think she stretched Armstrong. It didn't really show it here, but...
I'm tempering my angriness. Anger. There was no, ending to that word. It was just anger.
And, I thought it was a cool little moment. Sister saving the brother, okay?
Well, they did show, there was a few points where I was like, oh, wow, she really is Team Tanji. They did show that last episode when she started tearing up or whatever, but it happened very quickly, and so it took me a second to be like, okay, yeah, that's why she's being cool. I remember that it was like they just immediately had an understanding out of nowhere. She was trying to eat him, and then it was like once Giyu
beat him. Yep, Giyu, once he gave that little hit to him, she kind of snapped back.
She snapped out of it and was like, all right.
And it's interesting. I wonder if their bond is just so strong that's why they're still connected, or if she's not like a full demon. So, even though she has shrunken and grown, so I guess she is a full demon. I guess they just have a strong bond. It's like me and you.
So, yeah.
It's like if one of us turned into a demon, I can promise you we wouldn't eat each other. Well, maybe you would eat me.
Well, I would think about it, but like after a while, if you kept me well fed.
Yeah, but then you'd look at me and be like, "There's no meat there."
Yeah, you get me well fed, we'd be fine.
Yeah. So Tanjiro, he realizes that this demon smell, as they go back to the head of the demon on the tree, he gives him a little sniff and realizes it's not the same one that left his house and ate his entire family. It's not that one. And if it was, as we see here in a little bit, our Tanji is a little bit too nice. If it was the one that did that, you can best believe that he should be smashing his head in, okay?
Yeah, he definitely should be smashing his head in. He got in his mind that it wasn't, so that's why I don't think he could. And I'm still saying there's like a duo/trio out there that did that to his family. Yeah. There's like team. That's not the handiwork of one demon. Okay. Not saying that one demon couldn't do that. I just know a group job when I saw it, and that's definitely one of them.
Okay. And I put right here, he sniffed it out kind of like how you can sniff out different types of honey bun brands.
Well, but I can't.
As they come out of the microwave.
I can't. Deviated septum hasn't been right ever since I got the surgery still. I think about 80% of the way back, but I do believe it's re-deviating. That's a topic for another time.
I do believe, though, if a Little Debbie's and a Big Texas were sitting next to each other, you'd be able to sniff that out.
Yeah, you're right. A Hostess Jumbo.
What is it? Fluffies? I think Fluffies is one.
Fluffies has got a good one.
Oh, you know that one?
Yeah.
So Tanji goes to kill the captured demon. As he's panicking, he's tearing up a little bit. He's thinking of a way just to do it quickly. He doesn't want it to suffer. And we get a man in a red penis-nosed mask grab him from behind.
Yeah, I'm calling this guy Red Rocket.
Yes, great name for him. And he says, you can't finish him off that way, in a very homoerotic way.
Whoa, be careful.
This guy, Red Rocket, he can sniff out that Tanji's, a little too nice, maybe not cut out for the job if he wants to actually be a demon slayer. Mm-hmm. For the fact that he feels bad for a demon that he just saw devouring humans.
They did a great job when they introduced him right away. I'm like, okay, yeah, of course, this is Giyu's mentor. He's even more serious than Giyu was.
Yep.
I feel like I'm not saying that right.
Giyu, yeah.
I'm saying it right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, dude. If you say so.
Yeah, you're saying it right.
All right, cool. But yeah, I like this guy. Calling him Red Rocket.
My future self is laughing.
It's like the mask is cool, but every single time they showed it, I was like, wow, you guys really added those extra 2 inches, huh?
They did, man.
Like, if they had just shortened it up a little bit, wouldn't have thought a thing about it, but they really were like, nope, it needs to be a little bit longer, just to the point where it's absurd and catches everyone's eye every time they see it.
Yeah, he's definitely taking a pill for that, I would assume. Because he's old. I don't think he's getting it up like that. And then we see that Tanji, he sits there, he keeps contemplating, and he waits so long that the sun comes up. And right when the sun's coming up, this little demon shithead, he starts complaining and yelling at him, and he just absolutely gets disintegrated by the sun, as we hear in the background the hit tune song from the Beatles.
Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do.
So yeah, he sees that happen to him, and then he realizes, oh shit, my sister's a demon. Where's she at?
Yeah.
As he runs up to the cabin, and we see just cute little Nezuko hiding in a basket in the cabin.
Oh yeah, she was even cuter here than in the hole earlier, I will say.
And how can you be so cute when you're a demon, Ronnie? I mean, how? Well, I take that back. There's a lot of females out there that are demons on the inside that really portray an innocent soul on the outside.
Yeah. We have been hurt so many times.
Yeah. So we see now that if Nezuko gets exposed to the sunlight, it's not going to be a good time.
It's not going to be a good time, no. Yeah, this guy evaporates like nobody's business.
Yeah. He can get Ronaldo'd his head off. He can get a hatchet to the neck. But if a sun comes out, this guy's done. We then find out that the man is indeed the title of this episode. Okay? I'm not going to say it because I don't know how to say it.
Sukonji.
Sukonji?
Yeah, that's
Todoroki. Correct?
What are we going to call this guy?
I say Red Rocket.
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, if you're down, I'm down.
I think I call him Mr. Sushi.
It's just, it's not practical. That's what I don't understand. Like, how do they say it in Japanese? Because, like, these things, you got to have a conversation. They're saying this guy's name they're saying Urokodaki.
No, you know what he's saying every time? Sensei.
Yeah.
They call everybody Sensei.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going to call him Red Rocket, RR.
Mr. Sushi. I don't know why I put that in here.
Yeah.
I just couldn't think of anything for him.
But clearly. I don't think there was a single piece of sushi to be had this episode. Seems a little racist if you ask me.
His name starts with an S. That's all I could think of. He walks up and then slaps the shit out of Tanji and says, "You are too slow to make decisions."
Well, not only he asks him a question, gets him thinking, and then when he doesn't answer that quick enough, he slaps him.
And I put here, this is what my father did after basketball games. I mean, I needed it, though. I think Tanji really needs it, too.
Yeah, I mean, your free throw percentage was abysmal.
And if Tanji...
72%, get it up. They literally call them free throws. Make them count.
I looked like I was throwing it at the basket. That's why they call them that.
Also, they make a point to be like, oh, this guy, he's mourning those dead people, dug him some graves, and mourning them. They were some half-ass graves, all right? Like,
it looked like he didn't even dig. It looked like he dug dirt from somewhere else and then just put it on top.
He laid him out in the front yard and then just scooped, like, pushed dirt on it. There was no scooping involved. It was just a push of dirt on top of him.
He literally had mulch that he was about to spread at his cabin. He just put the mulch over him.
It was as if the ground became a beach. Like, this is how you bury someone at the beach. You just start pushing sand on top of them. Yeah. Now, maybe I'm not judging him. He might have been in a rush, but let's not be like, oh, wow, he's really taking the time to...
Well, I mean, he did it quick. He did it so quick.
It was very quick, yeah.
Unless Tanji really just sat there for hours contemplating on if he was going to smash this demon's head in with a rock. This man then says, "I'm going to teach you to see..." Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, yeah. This man then says, "I'm going to take you to see if you got what it takes." Okay? Mm-hmm. He tells him to put Nezuko on his back and to follow him. So they go for a run. A nice little run.
He also says something about, Oh wait, have they might not have gotten to that point yet.
No. So they start running, and Nezuko's on his back, and he's getting tired. He can't keep up with this old man, and he's just thinking the whole time, I've got to do this for Nezuko. So we have some inspiration for Tanji, okay? I feel like if she wasn't alive, his whole family just died, he probably wouldn't do any of this. But he's got a little bit of faith here with his sister, half alive.
Maybe so. I wonder.
But can't wonder too hard because she's right on his back.
Well, she is, but...
Unless he trips and falls and she just gets exposed to
I mean,
the
he
sun.
seems like a pretty driven young individual. I think he would have tried to avenge his family.
So they get to Mount Sushi's cabin as Tanji is exhausted. And he asks him when the test begins. And then the old man says, the test will now begin.
What a bad note. He says, did I pass the test?
Oh, that's what he said.
But no, it has now begun.
It has now begun. This is a classic. You see this all the time in sensei via student combinations. And it's classic. I love it.
Yes. This is so classic.
And then he tells him, we're going to climb the mountain now. Okay, so now they got to do mountain climbing. He does tell Tanji, though, that he will take care of his sister for him. And I like this guy. Like you said, this guy's really serious. But what I like about him, same as Giyu, obviously they hate demons. They've been taking them out. But they seem to actually really be interested in genuinely caring about Nezuko. This has to be so rare that he's thinking, maybe I should do this.
So at first I didn't want to get ahead of you, but now I do after your notes kind of fell apart right there. I do think you missed when he's talking about like the one thing you can't let happen is for her to kill someone.
No, that's coming up right here.
All right.
So then the guy tells...
That's what I thought. He didn't seem that passionate about it, so I can see where you...
Well, he does. While he says he'll take care of her, he does say that. He's like, the one thing you can't let her do is kill a human.
Okay, yeah. He also says, like, and if she does, you might as well just slit your stomach.
Yeah.
Which, owie. What a terrible way to go out.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying, man. Not your throat. That's too easy. If you're going to let that happen, do your stomach.
Well, that's like a samurai thing, right? They always go, if they do something dishonorable, they gotta stick themselves in the gut.
Yeah, but this guy's seeming like you just gotta slit it sideways instead of pushing it into your heart. You ever seen that happen? Somebody push it into their heart?
But he's just like completely advising against Tanji doing this. He's a big believer in if you play with a fire, you're gonna get burnt. It was also during these notes where I was like, what's the point of the mask?
Well, do you know why?
Why? He's horribly scarred, you think?
Probably. I would assume so. He's old. A lot of old people don't look very good.
let me make a prediction here. People love a good prediction. They gobble them up. We will see him without his mask off.
Without his mask off? So right now?
Huh?
Without his mask off?
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
We will see him with his mask off episode by episode 8.
Okay. Ocho. Okay.
And then also, I'm not a big believer in this white sheet keeping out the sun for Nezuko.
Okay.
I think we need a thicker fabric, and I think we need it to something that...
what is this, do you think? Cotton?
Yeah. It definitely looks like perhaps silk even. And white, that's just not going to get the job done. You're going to want something a little darker, something with a higher thread count. I'm concerned about the thread count on this fabric. It's just going to let some sun in there, and I don't know if...
Can he knit?
She might be surviving it, but I feel like maybe she's taken some damage.
I like that. And if he gets a cut in it, is he going to be able to knit it up? I mean, it's a lot of questions here.
He's already run through the woods. What if it gets nicked? These are just the things I want to talk about.
So this old man takes him off into the woods, off up the hill. They go climbing, and then he tells him to make it to the base of the mountain before daybreak.
Also, this was another point where I'm starting to question Tanji this episode. I'm like, okay, how bright is this man actually? Because he does say, obviously he's getting ready to go back down, but Tanji does not know that, and he doesn't call him out for when he's like, don't worry, I'm going to take good care of your sister. Now let's leave her inside here while we go on an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not good care. That's like it's like a babysitter. They come here and they're like, oh, hey, Julie, thanks for watching Brian tonight. Also, dude, there are no, you know what I just realized? There are no 5-year-old Brians.
No,
we're not making Brians anymore.
No, I would say they call him Bryson.
Every single Brian is 34 years old.
Yeah. And if you have one under 34, they don't even go by that. They go by their middle name.
Who the heck is a 5-year-old Brian? But anyway, but in this case, Julie has come over to babysit Brian. And then they're like, all right, just bed by 9, take good care of him. Julie's like, yeah. And then right as I get to the door, they go, Julie, you coming? And then they all just get in the car together and go have a good time. Little Brian's just there by himself. He becomes a 34-year-old man because he didn't have proper care. Had to grow up on his own.
So Tanji starts going down this hill. He's got to get down the mountain by daybreak. He says, oh, this is going to be easy. I can sniff everything out. Piece of cake. As he does that, though, he falls into the classic booby trap. There are booby traps galore, and I love a good booby trap. It reminds me of Scooby-Doo. And let me tell you, Tanji, he gets blitzed by these. I mean, he's literally like Scooby and Shaggy, how they always fall into traps.
Yeah. They're like traps that have like a 0.09% chance of getting like triggered and working, and he runs into every single one of them.
Every single one.
And they are packing a punch. There's just like straight up trees swinging from cables and just
tree logs just drilling him in the back.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
he's got a concussion for sure. Could you pass this challenge without the boobies?
Without mine or without like? Oh, you mean the traps? I think I could.
You think you're like if
the moon is out?
I'm just like, hey Chad, let's go for a walk. Don't worry, know this area like the back of my hand. Let's go for a walk. And then we go walk like 3 miles back into the woods. And then, I run off.
Yeah.
I'm playing a prank on you.
If the full moon is out, I've got it easy. If there's not a full moon, it's going to be a little tough. Because of the darkness.
Okay.
If you don't have a light. Think about it. Because you got to... What are you going to do? Wait till daybreak to get back? You got to get back before daybreak.
There's no way you'd make it back. 3 miles into the woods.
I think I could, man.
What are you, some hunter-gatherer? There's not a trail, Chaz.
I would be running. You said there's no boobies.
You don't follow a trail. Yeah, you can run, but we did some turning while we were... It's not just a straight line. Oh. We had to avoid trees in our path and, other obstacles.
Well, that's the thing, though. I'd have a compass. You didn't say I couldn't bring a compass.
I didn't. You might get your way out.
So Tanji, after he's getting obliterated, we see that he then gets super laser focused.
Sorry, one more thing. How about how Red Rocket's a man with the wind?
Oh, yeah. He disappears.
He floated away with the wind.
It's like fog wind. He just disappears with it.
Continue.
We then see that Tanji gets uber focused, starts breathing, focuses on breathing, and then sees a bunch of air follicles. Okay, they're all swarming around, and his sniffing powers fully activate. Mm-hmm. Okay, he starts sniffing out the logs and fogs of the atmosphere
because people touched him. That's what he says.
Oh,
He's like, people set up these traps. I can smell them. I can smell the traps.
He can smell the traps. He keeps thinking of his last surviving family member, Nezuko, and he keeps moving forward, okay?
I got very stressed out when I saw he was doing this in flip-flops.
Well, you're going to get stressed out this entire series then because everyone wears flip-flops.
Oh, man. That's stressful. Closed-toed shoes, guys.
It's very ancient, man. It's very one with nature is what people call it.
If I were to ever open my own Demon Slayer Academy, that's rule number 1. No open-toed shoes.
Okay. And how are they so fast in these?
Exactly. You ever tried running in a flip-flop?
Yeah.
Not to mention, too,
Yeah, it's tough. He makes it back just in time, right before daybreak, and he looks like absolute shit. He's gotten obliterated. This is where I think I could have made it. The reason that he made it back with all these boobies, I could make it back without boobies.
Best animated scene so far was right when he was escaping from the woods, and they do that kind of like long shot of him dodging all the boobies.
You like that?
Yeah, that was the best one
I'm
so
glad
far.
you commented on it.
That was cool.
Normally, you're just like, you're not a fan of animation. You like live action stuff.
Like, yeah. It was the best It was the best action scene I've seen all year. Beside if you take Euphoria out of the equation.
Okay. I put it up there with when SpongeBob and Patrick, when they get into the is it the Krabby Patty Mobile?
Okay, yeah, but that's what it's called.
Yeah, the Krabby
It
Patty
starts
Mobile.
with a spatula.
Yes. And they when they see all the dead bones and stuff, and they have to drive out of there. That was a great animated scene as well.
What about when they get on to the other side of the trench with the slapping technique?
Oh my god, that one too. And then when David Hasselhoff comes in the picture, fully animated.
And he shoots them down to the ocean with his pectoral muscles.
Yeah.
SpongeBob Chronicles coming soon. One day we will be doing a full episode coverage of that movie, of that film. It's called a movie, but it's a film.
SpongeBob SquarePants movie film. We then see that Mr. Red Rocket, he's reading a message from Giyu, okay? This guy had sent a letter, and it's got to be from a pigeon carrier, right?
And I'm so glad you mentioned it. I thought it was a great chance to plug the Patreon, patreon.com/podcastchronic. And the reason I bring this up is we just use it, we're not trying, we're using the Patreon as a way to invest in the podcast. Right now, we're saving up for a camera, and after that, we've already earmarked our next goal for buying homing pigeons.
Yeah.
So we can send notes to one another.
Yeah, and it'd be great vlogging material. We're going to set up a GoPro. That's another thing. We got to start up in the tiers because we've got to afford a GoPro for pigeons. Been looking it up. They're pretty expensive.
Not to mention the upcharge we're going to get to buy a pigeon that can carry a GoPro.
Yes, those are...
That's where they're going to get you.
They're only a few $100s, but if you look at the ones that carry GoPros, those are like in the thousands.
That's when you get a pricey.
Might take a few years with the amount of people we have right now, but it's okay. We will get there. But yeah, as he's reading this letter, he's telling the tale of young Nezuko and Tanjiro, okay? He even mentions the smelling power of Tanjiro. He says that he's got the same smelling technique as you. How about that? That's why he wears that nose mask.
Yep.
He figured it out. He's got a nose on him.
He puts it's like a nose tunnel.
Yeah.
And it just kind of wafts into that, and it stays for a while. It makes him really be able to dissect the layers of the smell.
I like this right here. The reason I feel like he helps Tanjiro, not only because of the demon situation, but he reminds him of his sensei.
And while we're talking about his equipment, what about those, I believe he's wearing triple threat ankle weights?
Yes.
When he takes those off, his vertical is going to be ridiculous. He's like me in 6th grade when I was like, one day I'm going to dunk it. I was just running around the neighborhood in ankle weights.
Oh, not even jumping. You're just like, if I just run, I'm going to be able to dunk.
I would just wear them for like 5 hours at a time. And then I'd take them off, and my vertical would be like 4 inches better, and I'd be like, on my way.
Yep.
On my way.
How's your vertical now?
Well,
did it help?
Let's not talk about it. Not getting up there like I used to.
So Giyu, this guy seems cool. I really like the mysterious vibe that we get from Giyu. And he asks his former sensei to train Tanji and to help the girl. I was surprised by this.
Yeah.
And obviously the old man has mad respect for him because that's exactly what he's doing. So he must have been a great student. But
it's going to be hard. That's the thing we're going to see. It's going to take a lot of work for him to be able to help Nezuko. He's not. Yeah. That goes against everything he believes in.
Yeah, but maybe he respects Giyu so much that he's fully on board.
Well, the fact that he's even trying goes to show you how much he respects him.
And that's when he says that I fully accept you as my student.
Mm-hmm. And we go in. I thought it was weird they changed the ending song.
Then we go straight into the ED. This is the first time we've actually seen the ED. We had the OP at the end.
Will they change the ending song? And am I to believe there will be a new one after every episode if they keep up this pace?
There will not, Ronnie, because we had the OP.
2 episodes, 2 unique EDs. It's kind of weird.
It's very eerie. I love the eerie vibe that you get initially right when the ED starts. It's got that distorted sound, siren sound. It really helps the atmosphere of this episode.
I need to go back. I've only heard the first episodes of ED once, so to compare and contrast, I should probably go back and see which one I like better.
It's not bad. It's I put it as I gave it a B-.
Okay,
gave it a B-. The artwork's pretty cool, and I'd say the song's all right. If I like the eeriness.
So you like the first one better?
There's not a first one. This is the first one.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps us up, doesn't it?
That's the end, yeah.
Email us at thepodcastchronicles@gmail.com. Join the Discord in the description below.
YouTube. We are almost at 300 subs, okay?
Yep. We're only 73 off from that. And then Twitter at Podcast Chronic. This is fun. I like this show. We're having a good time. I've been Ronny.
And I've been Chatty.
Peace.
Peace.